Picture this. You found the investment property, an apartment, a unit, maybe a house to rent out, and you're about ready to sign. Before you do, give me 90 seconds. Because the 2026 budget quietly rewrote the rules, and here's the part most agents won't mention. If you buy an established property after budget night from 1st July 2027, you lose around $5,000 to $6,000 a year in the tax refunds you'd have happily banked under the old system. Let me show you exactly who this affects and what you can do about it. And if you've been planning around the old rules, that's not a mistake on your part. They've barely been explained, and the headlines have been confusing on purpose. You're far from alone. Around 1.3 million Australians claim net rental losses every year, according to the ATO. So today we're going to do 3 simple things. Check whether you're grandfathered under the old rules, compare an established property against a new build, and model your real after-tax cost before you sign anything you can't undo. Here's the number that frames everything. Around 1.3 million individual taxpayers claimed net rental losses in 21-22, totaling $3.6 billion according to ATO rental property statistics. That tells you how widespread and how valuable this deduction has been. But here's the part most people miss. The government isn't abolishing negative gearing. It's quietly converting it from a yearly cash refund into a long-term deferral, and that one change rewrites all your maths. Let me show you how. So here's your plan, and none of it costs a cent. 3 moves. First, check if you're grandfathered. Second, compare a new build against an established property. Third, model your real after-tax cost. Each one takes you under 20 minutes, and by the end you'll know exactly where you stand. Let's start with the mechanism, because once you see it, the rest is easy. From 1st July 2027, negative gearing is being limited to new builds according to the 2026-27 federal budget, the idea being to push tax support toward new housing supply. If you already own a property, anything held before 7:30 p.m. AEST on the 12th of May 2026, nothing changes for you at all, but buy an established home after that moment, and from 1st July 2027, your rental losses can only offset residential property income or capital gains, not your salary. And that's where the refund disappears. Let me put real dollars on it, because this is where it lands. Take a $750,000 established property at 90% borrowing, 6% interest, renting for $700 a week. Your interest runs about $40,500 a year and other costs around $5,500 against $36,400 in rent, a rental loss of roughly $9,600. Under the old rules, at a 39% marginal rate including Medicare, that loss put about $3,044 a year back in your pocket, according to the budget and ATO explainer. Under the new rules, that yearly refund drops to 0. Now here's where it gets more layered. There's a second change, and it compounds with the first. The budget also reforms capital gains tax according to the budget papers. From 1st July 2027, the top 50% CGT discount, that's the rule that let you pay tax on only half your gain after holding for a year, is being replaced with cost-based indexation plus a 30% minimum tax on net capital gains. That matters to you because negative gearing only ever made sense on the promise of a lightly taxed gain at the end. Take that away, and the whole strategy shifts. Here's what that costs you. On a $300,000 gain, the old Bokai 50% discount meant tax on half the gain, about $5,500 at a 37% rate per Baker McKenzie's 2026 analysis. Under the new regime, your effective rate moves toward 30% on the gain above inflation. Now, here's the honest catch worth knowing. New builds can still choose the old discount, but established properties bought after budget night cannot. The longer you wait to model your own numbers, the more likely you sign the wrong contract. Quick myth worth clearing up because it's causing genuine panic. A lot of people hear the headlines and assume negative gearing is being abolished completely. It isn't, according to the ATO. It's being limited, not scrapped, and every property you hold before budget night keeps the current rules entirely. If you believe the myth, you risk a panic decision instead of simply confirming your own cutoff date. So let's get you the real number next. So now stack the two costs together so you can see the full picture. Around $4,000 a year in lost salary refunds, roughly $40,000 over a decade per the budget and ATO explainer. plus a mid-range extra $25,000 in CGT versus the old discount on Baker McKenzie's 2026 modeling. Combined, choosing an established property over a comparable new build can conservatively cost you $60,000 to $70,000 over your investing lifetime. Let me make that real with someone in your shoes. Meet Jason. He's 38, an IT project manager in Sydney earning $130,000 a year. He owns his home and has no investment property yet. His plan, buy an $850,000 established unit in late 2026, borrowing 90% as his first investment. He's 27 years from retirement on a 39% marginal rate, and he's assuming negative gearing will work for him exactly like it did for his older colleagues. Here's what he found when he actually read the fine print. Discovery 1, $4,056 a year, gone. On Jason's $850,000 purchase with a $765,000 loan at 6%, renting at $800 a week, his rental loss is about $10,400. At 39%, he expected a refund of around $4,056 a year. But because he's buying an established property after budget night from 1st July 2027, he can't deduct that against his salary, according to the budget and ATO. That refund becomes zero. The loss simply carries forward, and that's just year 1. Discovery 2, about $39,000 over the first decade. If Jason's property stays roughly $10,000 negatively geared for 10 years, typical for a high borrowing inner city unit, that's around $3,900 a year in refunds he expected, but can no longer claim against wages. Over 10 years, per the budget and ATO explainer, that's nearly $39,000 of cash he now has to fund out of his own take-home pay. And there's one more piece that hits harder. Discovery 3, the one that stung Jason most. He planned to sell around 2040 for a $450,000 gain. His old mental model, 50% discount at 37%, meant CGT of about $83,150, but under the new 30% minimum regime applying to his post-2027 gains, the bill could push past $100,000, according to Baker McKenzie's 2026 analysis, somewhere between $20,000 and $50,000 more than he assumed. If you're running similar numbers in your head, this is the one to check carefully. Add it all up for Jason. Around $40,000 in lost refunds over the first decade, plus a mid-range $25,000 in extra capital gains tax, a lifetime cost of roughly $65,000. And here's the key point for you. That comes purely from choosing an established unit over a comparable new build on the budget and Baker McKenzie 2026 modeling. Same money in, very different outcome, which is exactly why the next part matters. So, could this be you? Here are 3 signs. 1. You're planning to buy an established rental after May 2026. 2. You're quietly counting on a yearly tax refund to help fund the loan. 3. You haven't checked whether buying a new build instead changes your maths. If even one of those rings true, do yourself a favor and run the 3 moves before you sign anything. So where does this leave you? You don't need to overhaul your whole plan. You just need a few specific practical steps you can take today. 3 moves. Let's walk through them, and every single one is free. Move 1. Confirm whether you're grandfathered. This is general information, not personal advice, but the date that decides everything is 7:30 p.m. AEST on the 12th of May 2026. Anything you contracted before that keeps the current rules. Open the budget 2026-27 tax reform page in the ATO's Reforming Negative Gearing and Capital Gains tax page and find exactly where your purchase date sits. It takes a few minutes and it removes all the guesswork. Here's how you do it. Open the budget tax reform page and go to the negative gearing section. Note your contract date against 7:30 p.m. AEST, 12th of May 2026. Then cross-check it on the ATO reform page. What good looks like, you walk away knowing with certainty whether you're under the old rules or the new ones. No headlines required. Move 2. Compare a new build against an established property side by side. New builds keep full negative gearing against your wages and let you choose the 50% CGT discount. Established properties bought after budget night get neither. Run the same loan and rent across both options. The tax difference can be tens of thousands of dollars over 10 years, and it's the single biggest lever you control. Here's how. Run the same loan and rent for a new build and an established unit. Apply the salary offset refund to the new build only. Then compare the 10-year after-tax cash flow side by side. What good looks like. You can see the full gearing gap in real dollars, not headlines, and decide with your eyes open. Move 3. Model your real after-tax costs and be honest with yourself here. Don't assume the old $200 a week net figure. Without the refund, Jason's after-tax drain is closer to $400 a week, about $4,000 more a year. Sit down with a registered tax agent, plug in your interest and every property cost, and set that salary refund to 0 if you're buying post-budget. Better to feel that number on a spreadsheet than in your bank account. Here's the checklist. List every cost: interest, rates, body corporate, insurance, management, maintenance. Set the salary refund to 0 for a post-budget established by. Then stress test the weekly cash you'd actually have to fund yourself. What good looks like. You only proceed if the cash flow genuinely works without any refund at all. Why does this matter right now? Because the dates are locked in. First, 7:30 p.m. AEST on the 12th of May 2026, budget night, the cutoff that protects everything held before it according to the budget papers. Second, July 2027, when negative gearing is limited and the if 50% CGT discount is replaced. And third, that same Fervor's July 2027 date when indexation plus the 30% minimum tax starts applying to new gains. The window to lock in the old rules closes at budget night, so what you buy and when decides which regime you land in. After you act, confirm 3 things so nothing slips through. You should see your contract date logged against the 12 May 2026 cutoff. Confirm your projection assumes 0 salary refund if you're buying post-budget. And if the weekly cost still works without that refund, then, and only then, you proceed with confidence. Everything I've shown you comes straight from the 2026-27 budget papers, the ATO's reform guidance, and Baker McKenzie's analysis. All the links are below if you want to read the fine print yourself before you sign. So if you've made it this far, you now understand something most investors don't. Negative gearing isn't being abolished, it's being quietly converted, and the date you buy decides your outcome. The next step is to check your cutoff date today, before any contract. And if you want the upside, the new build loophole that keeps full gearing and your CGT choice is exactly what we cover next. Knowing this before you sign could save you tens of thousands of dollars, so confirm your cutoff date this week and talk to a registered tax agent before you commit to anything. I'm Sophie. I'll see you in the next one.